Okay, good evening everyone and welcome to this session of the lab. Today we're going to be learning more about CloudFront, AWS CloudFront, and we're going to be using it to distribute static content for our origin, which is going to be an S3 bucket. So just as an overview, CloudFront is a content delivery network service. So content delivery network are a group of servers that help to cache content near or closer to users and therefore speed up the delivery time or the response time that the users use to retrieve information from the servers. For example, if you're building up an application and you launch it in the US region, for example, and this application is going to be accessed by users globally, it is recommended to use content delivery network or CloudFront to distribute this content to your users so that they can be able to access the content with little or very low latency. So CloudFront uses what is called edge locations. And if we look at this map here, we see that the blue dots on the map represent edge locations, also known as points of presence. So as of the moment, there are about 410 points of presence globally. So CloudFront uses this to distribute content. So the content that is being distributed by CloudFront can either be static or dynamic content. Static content, mostly you're going to be using S3 for a static website hosting, or you can have dynamic content where you use servers like EC2 instances and so on. Okay, so today we're going to be demonstrating that using S3 bucket as the origin to host our static website. I'm going to share the files of the demo website that we're going to be using. So the first thing we'll be doing is logging into our AWS console and going to S3. So for those who are going to be following, let's go onto the console and go to S3. I guess we already know how to do that. So for me, I'll just click S3 here, but if you don't have S3 as one of your favorite services, you can just search from the search bar S3 and you'll find the service. So what we'll be doing here is creating an S3 bucket that will serve as the origin or the host of our website. So we'll go ahead and create a bucket by clicking on this orange button that says create bucket here. We'll create a bucket. So I'm going to call this bucket look on Cloud Lab Tuesday, but as we all know, bucket names in AWS need to be globally unique. So I'll advise that each person gives their own bucket a different name and not this one. If not, we'll have conflicts creating the bucket. So we found Cloud Lab Tuesday. And I'll create this bucket in my region, EU West 2, which is London. I advise that since we want to demonstrate CloudFront distribution here, we should all create the buckets in our own regions and not this one. So if you're in Europe, you probably check out to see which region is closest to you. For me, it's London. That's under AWS region. Under object ownership, we are going to leave the ACLs to be disabled because we are leaving this bucket. We are creating a private. We want the contents of this bucket to be accessible only for now, to be owned only by the owner of the account that is creating the bucket. So I'm the only one who owns the objects in this bucket. So this should be checked. ACLs disabled. And under block public access settings, let's keep the block all public access checked. So we're blocking all public access. This is a private bucket, but we are going to see how with CloudFront we'll be able to allow the objects in this bucket to be seen or accessed by allowed users. Let me say so. For bucket versioning, let's just leave it disabled since it's a demo. And that is it. Default encryption, the server-side encryption with AWS. Yes, we leave that checked. Nothing for the advanced settings. We just go ahead and we create bucket. So mine has successfully created my buckets. Let me know if we have all succeeded at that level. You can hear an echo, please. Somebody might need to mute one of their devices. So now that the bucket has been created, let's go click on the link of the bucket name and get into the bucket. We need to upload files here that we want to be accessed or to be delivered via CloudFront. So click on the upload, the orange upload button here. And at this level now, I would share the files that we need to upload into this bucket. I'll share them on the Telegram chat. Just a minute. Okay, so I've shared 2 files in the Telegram chat. Let us go ahead and download the files. And then we'll go back to our S3 bucket to add or upload the files into the bucket. So I'll just give a minute for us to download and let me know if there are any difficulties before we continue. Okay, so if we have all downloaded, we'll click on add files. And I think for all of us it would be in our download, but for me, this is where the file is located in my my local machine. So I'll just select both of the files and click open to add them to the S3 bucket. So I have CloudFront.css and CloudFront.html. So we're going to upload the files into the S3 bucket. Mine is successful. Let me know if you face any difficulties.
I still haven't downloaded the files from from Telegram.
Okay, but can you see the files there?
Yes, I'm seeing the .css file and .html. when I click, it opens in Notepad.
All right. I'll try to reshare in a different way. Let's see. I will share again. Probably it's opening in Notepad because you might not have a text editor. So just for the benefit of doubt, let me share again like this. Same. Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah, just download them. You probably do not have a text editor, and that's
Okay.
why we're facing that problem.
Okay.
Just download and then you upload them to S3 as they are.
Okay. Text editor.
Did you succeed to download the files now?
I'm still trying to get the text editor.
You actually do not need to access the files on your local machine for the purposes of this lab. You can just download them without opening them. Just download, and then you go back to your S3 bucket and you upload them there. You add the files. So when you download, they'll stay in the downloads folder of your machine.
Okay. Okay. .cs. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. I've downloaded them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go back to S3
Yes.
to your bucket the bucket that you created, right?
Yes.
When you get into the bucket like this, you're going to find this upload button.
Upload. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when you click on it,
Add
you will
files.
see add files. Great. Yeah. So you click on add files and then it will take you to your files manager. You navigate to the downloads folders, the downloads folder where the files have been downloaded to, and you select those two files.
Okay. Yeah, done.
Okay, and then you're going to see an upload button at the bottom right.
Yes.
Click on it.
Yeah, completed.
Okay. So now, yeah, I think you should have a view button somewhere that can take you back to your bucket, and you'll find that you have two files inside the S3 bucket.
Yes.
Okay. Does any other person have a difficulty doing that? Okay. Okay. So at this level, we'll have our two files. There is another thing I want us to upload, which is a picture. I'm going to share that again on the group chat. With on cloud picture flyer. So okay.
Tatiana.
Yes, Titus.
But that is the one of the files you sent us to upload is one of it is the flyer.
No, yeah, it's the flyer, but you still need to upload the flyer into your S3 bucket for the website to work well. So we're going to upload this image. You have the CloudFront.html file, then you have the CloudFront.css file, right? Now we need to add the picture, the image that I've shared to our S3 bucket.
Yeah, done.
Okay.
The first file you send, one of it is the image of from cloud.
One of it, you are seeing it in the HTML file. It is not actually the image. It's when you open the HTML file that you find that picture, right? But
Yes,
it's not the image on its own. It's not the image on its own. You need to upload this image for the website to work well. Okay. So we're supposed to have 3 files in our S3 bucket. And just to demonstrate, let me demonstrate with the image. When you click on this image here, we cannot be able to access it publicly. Like if I click on the URL, I would have an error, access denied. Why? Because this S3 bucket is a private S3. We have not allowed public access. You remember when we were creating the bucket, we blocked all public access. So this is a private bucket and all the objects within it are private. That's just to demonstrate, but we are going to see how CloudFront will be able to access these objects from the internet. Okay. So now, just before we create, the first thing is we've created our bucket, which is going to serve as the origin for CloudFront for the distribution. But just before we do that, let's just do a little test to see the performance of accessing this bucket, these images directly from the S3 bucket. We are going to do this, and then when we finally create the distribution, we'll do the same test, and then we can compare to see how the caching helps to reduce latency. So it's okay if you don't do it, but let me just demonstrate. We are going to use a tool called Key CDNS tool to test for to do a performance test. So I'll just go and open one of the objects, which is the image. So this is my S3 bucket. I'm just opening the object, accessing one of the objects, which is the image here. I'll copy the URL of the object, and then I paste it here and do a test. Okay. When we look at the TTFB, and TTFB here means the time it takes from when the client makes an HTTP request to it receiving its first byte of the data from the server. So if this is your website and you are accessing, and your users have to access the contents directly from S3, for example, let's use London because I launched my bucket in London. You see it's going to take 37 milliseconds for any user in London to be able to get back a response. And you see the further you move away from London, the more time it takes. In Australia, for example, it will take up to 1.07 seconds to get a request. So we're going to leave this here. And when we create the CloudFront distribution, now we'll come and carry this same test and see if CloudFront if the caching actually gives a benefit to latency. Okay, so that's all about the S3. We'll now go and open our CloudFront service to create a CloudFront distribution. You search CloudFront, and preferably you open it in a new tab. Okay. I will just go ahead and delete this distribution I had created earlier. And delete any of the origin access that I had created earlier as well. Okay, so here When we click on distributions, you'll see create distribution. You want to create a CloudFront distribution with the S3 bucket as the origin. So go ahead and click create distribution. And the first option is origin domain. When you click on it, you would see the name of your S3 bucket or maybe other services that can serve. Maybe if you have an instance or an elastic load balancer that is existing in your account, you might find it listed here. But let's choose the bucket that we created just now, that we've uploaded contents into there as the origin domain. Okay, and under origin access, you see the first one is public. It says bucket must allow public access. Our bucket does not allow public access, so we're going to go with the second option, which says origin access control settings. So with this one, we are controlling the access to the bucket. We are going to be creating an access control such that only requests from CloudFront are directed to the bucket. So users that are not accessing your website through CloudFront, through the CloudFront distribution, will not be able to access your objects in the S3 bucket. So we'll click origin access control settings, and here we'll have to create a control setting. So you click create control setting. So this step that we're doing is helping us to create a URL that users are going to use. The name stays, the name of our bucket stays here. You can add a description, but it's not, it's optional. So here we're going to use signed request, as it's already selected by default. We'll leave it, and the origin type is S3. Signed request, will leave this signed request by default. So only users that have, for example, this is like to restrict direct access to your server or to your origin. Or yeah, maybe if the website is hosting a platform, for example, and you require that users should subscribe before they have access to that platform, then only subscribed users will have access to the CloudFront distribution, URL that will help enable them now to access the content of the platform. So any other person who has not subscribed to that platform, for example, will not have this signed URL that will help them to access. So let's go ahead and click on create. So you see when we create, this tab is being populated. Okay, and you see a warning here that says you must update the S3 bucket policy. Yes, what this means is that we have to go and update the bucket policy to enable CloudFront to have access to S3. So we're going to do that after we create this distribution. We'll just scroll down. And you see under default cache behavior, you see compress objects automatically. The yes is selected by default, which is a good recommendation to compress your objects automatically in order to reduce your transfer charges. And then for viewer protocol policy, here we have HTTP and HTTPS. If in the case that we were dealing with a secured website and had SSL certificates, maybe we would be choosing the redirect HTTP to HTTPS for a secured site. And then the allowed HTTP methods, they should stay as get and head, because we just want the users to access and not do any changes. They should not be able to add or delete anything. So this one stays by default as it is. Okay, so we'll just scroll down. And at the level of web application firewall, at this level, you can, if you want to use a WAF to secure your website, you can go ahead and enable this. But since this is just a demo, we'll go and select to not enable security protection there. And then the next level is settings. You see the price class. As we saw on the map, there are edge locations all over the world, but the pricing depends on how many edge locations you are using for your content distribution. This one, since it's a demo one, we're actually not using it and we don't have a specific purpose for this. We are going to go with use all edge locations, which is the best, but also it is more expensive as compared to if you're using just the locations in North America and Europe, or if you're using those in North America, Europe, Asia, Middle East, and Africa. So we're going with use all edge locations. Still, we have nothing to do with SSL certificates. Now, but under default root object now, we are going to specify that the root object should be CloudFront, should be our file name cloudfront.html. So we're saying that the default page that should be returned by S3 when a user makes a request on that, a request to our test website should be the cloudfront.html, which is the page that actually carries the information that we want our users to see. In a case where you have several pages, the index.html is usually the default, and then you have other pages. So that is all. If we are all happy with the configurations, we'll go ahead and create. If somebody has any questions, let them ask before we create, please. Sorry. Okay, let's go ahead and create our distribution. It will take some time to create. So it brings you back to this window, but it's still in the deploying state. It's still creating, but you can see there's a nice reminder here reminding you to update your S3 bucket policy to let CloudFront access the bucket. So we're just going to copy the policy. It has been generated for us. You click on copy policy here. When you see that it has been copied, there is a link here taking you to your S3 permissions directly, or you could still come and navigate through the other tab, but it's easier just to go here. You click on this link, it will take you to the permissions window of S3 bucket. Yeah, permissions here. And then we'll just scroll down to the bucket policy. We see, and I reiterate that the public access is blocked. So now that's why you see the policy is empty. But now we want to edit the policy. We'll click on edit and then paste the policy here that we copied, that was generated for us. And you see that the policy allows AWS CloudFront to access S3, but what is the access given to it? Just a get object access. So this could still be written by us, but AWS makes it easy. So when you've pasted the policy, you click on Save Changes. Okay, successfully edited bucket policy.
But Tatiana, how do we add this this policy like manually? Because when I got the prompt, when I got the message in green that to click and update to copy the link for the policy, I just deleted, I canceled it, so I don't have the option now of copying and pasting. So
you have to it's going to be, I'll share the policy with you, but go back to your S3 bucket.
Yes, I'm there now.
Under the permissions tab, you click on permissions here.
Permissions, yes.
Then you scroll down to bucket policy.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
click on edit. Excuse me. So I will just copy this policy and share with you because it's going to be complicated for you typing all of this now.
Yeah.
I will just share the policy here on the group. You copy all of it and paste it in this window and you save.
Okay. Yeah, done.
Okay. Okay, at this level, S3 is fine. The policy is okay. Let's go back and see if our distribution has been created. It actually takes some time, like 3 to 5 minutes. So you can see that it's still in the deploying state.
Well, they are telling me that I have an unknown error. So policy has invalid source.
Okay. Yeah, that's because it was supposed to be generated by AWS. What I would propose is you share your screen. You're going to go ahead and recreate the distribution. Can you share your screen?
I think I'm accessing it from. Okay, yes. Let me share my screen from my laptop.
Yes.
Tatiana, let him check also, maybe copy including your names on that policy.
No, I did not copy your names.
Okay, yeah, because the error says that the error says that for an unknown source. So I think AWS has made it such that they be the only one to generate. Yeah. So just share so we can recreate a distribution and just copy the policy.
Okay, so for me to share my screen, it seems you have to deactivate your screen share.
Yes, please. I will stop sharing now.
Okay. One second, please.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So this is what I pasted. Okay, so you said I should cancel the distribution, right, and create a new one.
Oh, sorry, I was talking mute. Just hold on. Let us generate the policy by ourselves. Just clear this space from here, like delete this policy, and we should use the policy generator to generate one. Okay. So scroll up to policy generator here. So want to allow, and want to allow CloudFront. Let me see. It would be easier just to go and do it. Just a moment. Let me check it out on my screen. And then history bucket policies. Yeah. Emissions. Is it? Yeah. Okay. All right, let me see what you have. Can you try to type AWS CloudFront there?
Yeah, so I'm trying to select CloudFront from the AWS service drop-down menu, but it doesn't seem to be working.
On the principal, right?
Okay, yes.
On the principal area, you should put Yes, CloudFront.
CloudFront.
Try to put CloudFront. Let's see. Use a comma to separate multiple values. AWS service, all services. I think it should be AWS CloudFront. But let's just see. Yeah, put AWS at the front. Space.
Okay.
This is still inactive.
Let's see. Comma.
Under go up to step 1, where they say select a policy type. Click on the drop down. So it's S3 bucket policy. Yes, that one. Okay. Yes, click on principal again and type AWS CloudFront. Okay. This still keeps it inactive.
Yeah.
Come to actions. You scroll so that you can go to get object.
Get object version. Get object.
No, scroll down. No,
Oh,
get, not
yeah,
delete.
exactly. Get object. Okay.
That's it.
Get object, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Mhm.
AWS resource name. And you should follow the format use a comma with multiple values. Oh, I think this is where we're supposed to put the CloudFront.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, AWS CloudFront. Let's see. Or go to the CloudFront distribution and try to copy the ARN from there. So we'd have it in a way. Go to the tab where you have CloudFront distribution. The next tab here. The next tab on your right, I can see it.
Yes. Here. Yeah. So what should I copy?
This one, the ARN here. No. Here where they're written ARN.
This
Under
one.
details, you see? No.
Yeah.
Then
ARN. Yeah. This one.
yes. Click on the copy. Okay.
Yeah.
Go back to the policy. Oh.
Okay. Should I paste
Is
it?
the next step? No. Go back to where we were generating the policy. No, not that one.
Yes. Yeah. I think should be like, yeah,
yes.
Exactly. Yeah, here.
Yeah, so you paste it here where you are trying to type AWS CloudFront. Okay. Resource code is not
Nothing
valid.
changes.
You must enter
But
a valid
Tatiana, there is maybe by clicking on add conditions optional, it might give us what we are looking for. Here.
You know what I propose is you go back and create a new distribution. So
Exactly. I think that's going to be easier.
Go back to the distribution.
Create distribution.
Yeah. Choose your bucket name. That is it. We from TuesdayLab.s3.com.
Yes.
Is that
exactly,
the bucket you created?
Yeah. And then
click on the next under origin access where you have public checked. Check the second option, origin access control setting.
Yes.
Then here on the right, create control setting. Click on it. Click create. Okay, that's fine. It's because you already have a distribution with this name. So we'll have
Yes,
to go
but
back and delete the other one.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. So let me go back.
Disable first. You disable first before you delete.
Okay.
So it's going to take some time. So I'll advise you just stop sharing. Let's continue. And then when you find out that it's done, you
Okay.
notify so that we'll
All
take
right.
it
But for
slow.
the settings, I just need to choose the default settings, right? To create a new distribution.
We need to choose a default setting at the level of WAF. We need to take disabled. When is that time? We'll just direct you. And then you need to also define your root or your origin root to be the CloudFront.html file that we have
Okay. Yeah.
uploaded
Yeah.
on S3.
Yeah.
So I think for every other person, the CloudFront distribution is done creating. So what we can do now is access our website through CloudFront by we'll copy the domain name of the distribution here. It says distribution domain name. So we'll click here, we'll copy, and we can open a tab and access our website from there. Okay, so this is the website that we're hosting on our S3. So let me know if you all have this, and then we're going to demonstrate how CloudFront will reduce the latency of this distribution. Are we all at this level, please?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay. So let's remember that when we did the performance test before, this is our result. So I will just go back again and open Kit CDNS tools for us to do a performance test again, but now from our CloudFront distribution. Okay, so I will go to the website now and copy the link of this image, for example. Copy image address and paste it here. Initially, for the first time when you do test this, you will not have very significantly different values from what you had before, but we can already see that it's significantly different here. Look at for London, we have 27 milliseconds and we had 37 before. So from CloudFront is quicker. But if we just do this test, if we just refresh this and test again a second time, now that the image has been cached, we hope to find a more lower. Oh, it went higher instead. I'll just test again. Yeah, it goes to 25. So now this image has been cached, and so since we're getting it from the cached version and not from the origin S3, it is being the request is being responded to quicker. So that is it for CloudFront distribution and what I prepared. Setting up a distribution and doing a performance test to see the impact of using CloudFront rather than accessing your website directly from your origin. So anyone has a question? Okay, if there's no question, we'll go ahead and clean our resources, and then we'll come back and see how we can help parents. So for the resources, let's start with CloudFront since it takes a long time. We'll go to distributions, click on the distribution, and we disable. So we are going to wait for it to be completely disabled before we can come and delete the distribution and delete the origin access. We would have to wait for about 3 to 5 minutes actually. So anyone can bring up a question while we wait. But also while we wait, we can go ahead and empty our S3 bucket and delete it as well. So you come to S3, check the bucket, empty, type permanently delete. And then you go ahead and you delete the bucket now. You have to type the bucket name to confirm that you actually want to delete the bucket. Okay. Bucket has been successfully deleted. Yeah, I have just the bucket I had before. So that is done for the bucket. We have to wait for the CloudFront distribution to be disabled, and then we'll delete it and also delete the origin access. Just while we are waiting, Terence, did you succeed to delete your CloudFront distribution so we can create a new one for you?
Yes, I succeeded to delete it, and I tried to create a new one, but I kept seeing the same error message.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you what to do. Do you see? Go to the CloudFront window, and under security, click on origin access.
One second, please.
Okay.
Yeah, origin access. Yeah, create control setting.
Under origin access, you click on the origin access, you select it, and you delete.
Origin. Okay. So you said I should go to origin access, and there are 3 options: public origin access control, and then legal access identities. Or is that what you are saying? Or are we on the same page? Oh no. So Tatiana, I like when I had the option of deleting, right? I deleted it on my own automatically. Can you hear me?
You were deleting the CloudFront distribution, right?
Yes, exactly. I deleted the entire distribution.
Fine. Still go back to CloudFront. On
Okay.
this left hand panel, scroll down to where you find security.
Yes, I'm there. Origin access. Yeah.
Click on origin access and you'll
Yeah.
find an origin access that we created here. So check the box and you delete this access before we create a new distribution for you.
Okay.
So when you create a when we were creating a distribution, you remember we had to do origin access settings, control settings, and we had to create an access control setting. So this is it. You also have to delete it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you delete it now, I believe you'll be able to create a new
distribution.
Yeah. So for all those who are waiting, it is now disabled. We can check and then delete the distribution. And when we delete the distribution, we go ahead to security, origin access, and we delete the origin access. Okay, so that is it. The S3 bucket is deleted. The distribution and the origin access are deleted. So yeah. Terence, you can share your screen now while I so we help you to follow up.
Okay. Okay. They said